Welcome back to the Dream Hub podcast, where we explore the landscape of dreams, the power of the sleeping mind, and what it means to truly wake up to your life. I'm so excited about today's guest. She's a lucid dreaming facilitator, artist, founder, and as you'll soon hear, someone who is called to this work in a way that is nothing short of extraordinary. She's based in Berlin, where she founded Dreamsome, a mission-driven project to make dream work and lucid dreaming as common and as accessible as meditation. She studied with the renowned Charlie Morley and has taught at Soho House and is on a bold journey to bring the dream world into the everyday lives of creatives and entrepreneurs. Please welcome Margarita. Welcome to Dream Hub.
Thank you, and thank you for such an amazing introduction. I even got a little bit shy.
That's so sweet. Now, Margarita, as you know, we all dream, but few of us yet really pay attention. How would you describe lucid dreaming to someone who's never heard of it, and why should they care?
I'll just give out the common description of lucid dreaming. So a lucid dream is a dream when you realize that you are dreaming. You're still sound asleep in your bed. It's not an imagination exercise. You're actually in the REM phase of your sleep and you're witnessing your dreams. And at that point, you know that you are dreaming. That's how you know what it is.
So you've described a really pivotal turning point in your life, a near-death experience after an accident, after which lucid dreams started coming to you naturally and very intensely. Can you take us into that experience?
I did have a near-death experience after an accident, and it just happened so in the past I did practice lucid dreaming as a teenager, and then at some point I had a sleep paralysis, which is an experience when I woke up and I couldn't move and I saw a scary figure approaching me. And that experience as a teenager stopped my lucid dreaming for like a decade, actually. And then this accident brought my lucid dreams back for some reason, which were really, really intense for me, and I had no idea what to do with them. So I just set out on a journey to figure out what I could really do with them, because they were so profound, but I felt like every chance I get them and I don't use them in the correct way, somehow I was wasting an opportunity that was given to me. And that started me on a journey to discover what lucid dreaming can really do for me and for others. And that's what led me to study with Charlie Morley. That's what led me to start my startup. And it was all kind of a bit of a road that was paved one stone at a time. So I didn't know what was coming next, but everything that was coming was falling right in the right place.
That's so cool. So is it like, did you have one big profound dream that really blew your mind to get you into it more?
There was one. I try not to go too woo-woo, but for me it was a really woo-woo dream. So I felt like I was thrown out of my body. So I'm not even sure it was really a lucid dream or an out-of-body experience, because the experience of it was like I was thrown and sucked somewhere out into the space, and I ended up in kind of a building or a house which had different sides to it. And then on each side of it, like you could see it didn't have the external walls, so you could see everything that's happening inside. And in every room there were different scenarios playing out. So it felt like I was thrown out into this multiverse of potential, but I also felt like I couldn't go back. So I felt a bit like too far from my own body to come back to myself and to wake up. And at that point, I started to panic slightly, and I started to find a way to come back. And my spouse at the time was sleeping in the next room. So I was like, okay, let me try to somehow come back to something that I know. And so in the dream, I tried to contact her, and I try calling her, and she picks up, but it's a different version of her. So it's the one that it's not the same person actually. And I asked her, like, have we actually met it then in this lifetime? And she's like, yeah, of course we've met, but we kind of had a different history somehow. And so, and then tried to contact her again, and I contacted a different version of her again. And so at some point I just got so scared that I eventually did wake up. But still, to this day, I honestly am not sure if it was a lucid dream or an out of body experience. But that was the one when I was like, okay, I think I need to do something about it and learn how I can deal with more of this intense kind of experiences.
That sounds really cool, but like you said, scary as well. And those like parallel lives kind of a dream.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so interesting. So you did mention that you studied with Charlie Morley, who, I mean, most of us have heard of Charlie. He's one of the most well-known voices in the lucid dreaming world. What did that training open up for you, and how has it shaped the way that you teach?
Hmm. Yeah, I can maybe go back even a little bit in my own story when
Mm-hmm.
I decided to build something for the dreamers, which was already 2.5 years ago. I didn't know what it was going to be. And I was pitching this idea to a startup incubator that like lucid dreaming is going to be big one day, but we're not there yet. And I don't know what the product should be, but let me talk to dreamers, like do my own research, and I'll come up with an idea. And it was like a 3-month program, so it was not a lot of time. But also in my pitch, I said, and I'm going to work with the best lucid dreaming teachers out there. And for me, at the moment, I knew who I was talking about. It was Charlie, but like it was also a dream. I had no idea if that would actually work out. I didn't know him. It was just like, I'm going to go for it. And they accepted me into the program. And then as I'm there, I find out that they also have travel budget and I could go on a training with that program. And so I find out that Charlie has a retreat in Venice. And that's how it all started to come together. Um, and the day I arrived to the training, the first thing it says like, if you thought this was a lucid dreaming retreat, you can go home now. This is a shadow work retreat. I was like, okay, nice. But looking back, I think it was also really great that it was a shadow work retreat because now I can work with shadow integration as well. And
Mm.
after that, we kind of stayed in touch, and I asked him to be my advisor at Dreamsome. And then he was saying that I should really do the facilitator training, which I also had no idea what it was about. Um, and once the first, like, I entered the training because I felt like, okay, this is what I need to do, and I don't know why, but so I did it. And it turned out that the training is all about teaching. So, like, we were literally practicing how to teach lucid dreaming, the techniques, the way that Charlie teaches them. So um, it was just like, yeah, reciting the whole thing all over again, and it was interesting. So by the end of the first block, we had 2 blocks, online and in person. By the end of the first one, I felt like, okay, I think I can teach lucid dreaming now, which is not something I thought about before. And then half a year later, I went to London to an actual in-person part, and then again at the end of it, in the last workshop, I was like, I think I want to teach lucid dreaming now. And so
Mm.
at the time, I was actually building an app, and it was more of a tech company. So Dreamsome was like a technology. I was building a dream diary. Um, and right now, I'm shifting more toward education. But I think in the future, Dreamsome will be both like the educational element and the technological element together.
Because you do come from a design and tech background, and what you're talking about, you were building a digital dream diary. Can you tell us
Yeah.
about that? What was that like, and what's it all about?
So in the 3 months of that first incubator program, I found out something that I already knew, that the dream diary is the base for any dream work practice. And every dreamer told me about their dream diary. And also, not many use the digital solution for that. Most of the dreamers are using a notebook, which is not bad, but also not sometimes not as efficient as it could be. And I personally was writing my dreams down in the notes, just like trying to dictate it. And the quality of the text was not always very good. So, like, this was just were the issues that I was facing myself, and I discovered they're more common. So, after the first program, I actually entered a second, a longer program in another startup incubator. And that's when I actually built the Dream Diary, which was like It was easy to enter a dream with voice. It was easy to transcribe it. You could always see what nights you have your lucid dreams on. And I released the beta version 1 year ago, actually in May. And sadly, my teammate had left the team. So the developer who was developing it for me left the team. And right now it's really on hold because of that. But I'm hoping that when I manage to find some funding, I could be able to continue the journey with the app as well and include more lucid dreaming
Mm.
techniques. People are not really aware about their dreams yet, so they need some entry point. And the first step before you go into lucid dreaming, you need to know what your dreams are actually capable of and what you are capable of when you work with your dreams. So Dreams Diary was a perfect solution for that. And the next step would be more lucid dreaming inside of it. So maybe if someone's listening to this and they're like, I want to support that kind of project, like, yeah, I would be happy to talk. Just reach out to me on LinkedIn or via email. I'd be really happy to talk about that.
Yeah, that would be great. Let's get some investors because you're right. I use my notes app and the same thing. I will type, but sometimes my memory is faster than what I can type out. And then I'll start trying to transcribe. But it does mix the words up sometimes. It's not always that great. And then you have to go back and try to decipher what you've said.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that sounds really good. Going back a few steps, you did just mention that it was like a shadow work retreat course type thing that you went on. I absolutely love the topic of shadow work through dreams. But for listeners who aren't familiar, would you explain a bit about what is the shadow and how do our dreams give us access to it?
Yeah, gladly. That's what I'm figuring out myself right now, how to communicate it to people who are not in the work yet.
Mm.
Um, and all of us have these traits which we don't fully accept in ourselves. So, and they don't have to be like so-called bad traits. Actually, a lot of the shadow is our good traits. So if you were a kid who drew very well, but your parents didn't support that, you might have just shoved it off, like put it somewhere in the drawer and never came back to it again. Um, so shadow is all of these parts in ourselves that we don't fully accept and that we try to hide and that we reject not only in ourselves but also in the others. So whenever you see yourself judging someone for something, it's a good opportunity to look back at yourself and just ask if you're accepting that in yourself. Would you allow yourself to do that? And of course, dreams are so profound as showing us our shadows because we constantly experience those dreams where someone is like attacking us or someone is doing something or we're experiencing shame. The second you experience shame in your dream, it's like that's your shadow point. And I will go even one step further. So, of course, when you're working with dreams and you write them down and you can witness your shadow, there's not much you can do about it. Yes, you can see it, but once you enter a lucid dream, you can talk to it directly. You can ask it questions. It can show you why it's there, what happened, what it's maybe preventing you from achieving sometimes. And I had personally quite a few examples of how I integrated a shadow that way. The beautiful thing about the shadow is that once you truly witness it and accept it, it changes. It stops being that monster or that violent character in the dream, and it actually becomes really beautiful. I have literally fallen in love with a few of my characters when we talked, and I realized it was a part of me. So that's the profound experience you could have also in your dreams. And the thing is, it doesn't stop at your dreams. Once you integrate that part of yourself, your daily life changes. So you're no longer repressing that part of yourself. You release a lot of energy because repressing something in yourself really takes a lot of energy, and you don't judge others so much anymore. You're not so harsh on yourself anymore. This is really deep psychological work, and we all have access to it. Like we go to bed every night, and I had a period in my life when I did a lot of therapy myself, and then there was a period when I couldn't do therapy anymore. But dreams stayed with me, and that enables me to continue my journey already on my own. And that's because you asked in the beginning, why should people care? Like knowing that it's always there for you, and your dreams are always trying to help you figure things out about yourself, trying to process things that haven't been processed. Like, that's why people should care.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I love that. And I do call like dreams, like I'm a dream therapist. I see it. It's a therapy that we can access every night. I'd love to hear an example of one of your lucid dreams where you had shadow integration, if you'd be willing to share.
Totally. But let me think, which one? Maybe I would even share both of them. Like, I mean, it's not, I
Yeah,
didn't
go
only
for it.
have two, but these two are really interesting. One of them, it was a violent character in my dream who was attacking another woman somewhere in the distance, and I was hiding in the bathroom. And the next second, I see that that violent, like, big dude is trying to approach me and attack me. And in that second, I realize it's a dream, and he's already like right here. And I look at him and I ask him, like, what do you represent? And that's the second one it changed. And he's like, I represent Margarita's leadership qualities. And it's like, yeah, he was the warrior archetype, basically, who was violent only because he was unintegrated. And the second that we communicated, he started to change. And that's what I mentioned, that I fell in love with characters. He started to look so beautiful that I was feeling as if I'm falling in love with him. And that's when I woke up. And I think, looking back on myself, I do have a lot of leadership qualities indeed, and indeed sometimes they might have crossed the line into being too harsh, too demanding, like kind of too aggressive, too violent. And I think that dream helped me to switch that and be more compassionate towards people that I work with, so that I can be kind to them and understand also their limitations. Yeah, that was a beautiful dream.
That is beautiful. I love that question. Like, what do you represent? And how
Yeah,
profound the answer can be. It can just be something that you never expected and it really throws you off guard. You're, whoa.
yeah,
And then you've got something to think about that perhaps you didn't even realize was a shadow part of you. Like you may not have even noticed that you had those qualities within you
yeah,
until you question this character.
yeah,
And yeah, that's beautiful. What was the other dream?
yeah. Yeah, and like you said, you never know what they're gonna say. They might seem so like violent and aggressive and scary, and then the second they talk, they're like, "Oh, actually, I'm that good part of you that you have, but you just don't like me. Please be friends with me." um, or also one time I was in the house of resentment with, with ogres walking around, and yeah, that's a whole other topic. Was also really funny. But the other experience that I had, I wanted to meet kind of the money archetype, which is not a classic archetype. I just imagine, let's imagine there is a money archetype. So everyone imagines money to be a certain way, and I wanted to meet money and to know like how do I see it, and maybe how can I change my relationship to it? How can I attract more money into my life? And as I was calling out that archetype in a lucid dream, instead of that, there was crying teenager in a closet who wanted my attention. And so as soon as I saw her, I realized like this is something that's even preventing me from going further, because there is some part of me that's scared of money and is literally crying in a closet and said, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And I was like, okay, what can I do? How can we go together? And actually in that dream, that character didn't want to go. So I had to stay with her and just support. And like, that's when I woke up. So it was a series actually of dreams when I was progressing, and every dream was taking me a tiny step closer. And at some point I did meet the archetype, but it was only looking at me like, a bit like down. And yeah, someone had to introduce me to it. That's like a whole journey of it. But so the example I wanted to share was because there was this shadow that was stopping me and holding me from reaching my goals.
Mm. Wow, that's very deep, very, very deep. And there's so much that you could go into
Yeah,
that, which I won't do right now.
yeah.
But thank you so much for sharing. That's amazing. And I love the idea of wanting to meet the money archetype. I think that's something that I'll definitely have to try to incubate a lucid
Yeah,
dream about. maybe tonight, and
Yeah.
we'll see. I'll let you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me know.
uh, you draw a connection between lucid dreaming and meditation. How would you describe the connection between the two of them? You know, some people think that lucid dreaming is just another form of mindfulness, or do you think it's something completely different? How would you describe it?
Yeah, that's a good one. Uh, For what I notice is whenever I personally meditate more, I get more lucid dreams. I've heard that from other people. Once they go a bit deeper into meditation, their dreams start to either they have more lucid dreams or they have more dream recall. It's like, but for me, the moment of realizing that you're dreaming is exactly what you're doing in meditation. When you're meditating, you're witnessing your thoughts and you're constantly realizing like that you're thinking and you're bringing your attention back. What you're doing in a lucid dream, you're realizing that you're dreaming, which is actually a form of thinking in a way, because it's some sort of like, how can you call it, yeah, some sort of motion that's happening also in your head and that you can witness. And so to me, they're so similar actually. And the moment of realization in the dream feels like, okay, I'm dreaming. And that's very similar to the moment when you're meditating. You're like, like I'm thinking again. Let me come back.
Mm.
So that's why I draw a very close connection to them. And that's why I think practicing for lucid dreaming will make you more aware during the day because you're actually engaging in mindfulness exercises. You're asking yourself whether you're dreaming or if something weird is happening, which creates this beautiful loop of mindfulness, which transfers from your daytime into your nighttime, and then from your nighttime into your daytime. So I know that lucid dream practice can sound so intense, like you need to do all of these things, and the only goal is to realize that you're dreaming at night. But that's not how I see it. The goal, even of just practicing that, is becoming more aware, and that awareness transfers into your daytime and into your nighttime.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. You know, I've started meditating a bit more right before bed, and what I've noticed that it does to my dreams is, yes, I get lucid easier, but also I'm noticing I'm being a lot more introspective within the dream space. So instead of just observing what's happening in the dream, like, oh, I hurt my foot, and then now I'm going to the medical center, within the dream, I'll go, oh, I hurt my foot. Oh, I wonder if these are acupressure points. I should remember that specifically so I can look it up when I wake up. And then how am
Oh,
I getting to the medical center and how do I feel? And
mm,
the, the clarity and the thoughtfulness within the dream becomes a lot more intense. And then my dream
mm.
journalings have become a lot longer because I'm sort of, noticing the thoughts and patterns and how I'm feeling within the dream as it goes along, rather than just watching a story play out. I'm questioning how I feel within the dream as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's even outside of lucid dreaming, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's
I just
beautiful.
notice when I'm writing the dream down, I have these extra memories from within where I'm questioning things that are going on and
Mm.
noticing my thoughts within the dream.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's pretty cool. Speaking of pretty cool, you are also an artist and you sometimes paint ideas from your dreams. I had a
Yes.
look at your Instagram page and it's very, very cool. I love, like, even on the clothes and all your photo shoots, and it's amazing. I'm wondering, like, what does it feel like when you're doing this art and you're bringing something from the dream world into a physical piece of art? Like, has the process ever surprised you, or is something, brought forward more memories from the dream as you're putting it out there?
Yeah, because the thing is, I've been making my art for many, many years, even before I got back into lucid dreaming. So it was so natural for me to start using my dreams because I would sometimes already witness some visuals before I started creating them. That was very normal for me. So starting to paint my dreams was like just the next kind of step forward. And I first worked with the hypnagogic imagery a bit more, so that actually hypnopompic in the morning. So when I woke up, I was still in my bed, and I was even directing a little bit. I was asking, like, show me kind of some layout ideas of what I could do. Because I'm a lettering artist and I have this design background, it's a bit more into, yeah, this kind of designing direction still. And I draw a lot of lettering and a bit more abstract, so it's not like classical painting, I would say. So for me, this like layout ideas, how can I place things, what kind of feeling can I bring forward. um, and actually, so far there is only one artwork that I really took from a lucid dream and I brought it into the real world, which was when I experienced singularity. And how do you actually draw that? So I made a little sketch in the middle of that. I really didn't want to forget what I saw there. So I really, like, every time right now I come back, I can see it again because it was so intense, such an intense experience. I really wanted to remember it. That's why I wanted to make it. So my idea was not like, I'm going to make a nice piece of art. It was like, I want to remember this.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So I have it still here. I can even show it. It will be visible
Yeah,
here in
sure.
video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost fits.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so here
That's
it
so
says lucid dream
pretty.
number one, and here it says like singularity, and how I experienced it is like no body, my body completely disappeared, no me, even my sense of I disappeared. It was completely dark, and I saw this little wave chains, which is the only way I could explain it. Is like somehow some particles that were dancing and vibrating, and there were these radio sounds which were like woo woo, and also like these are the only words I could find how to describe it in the end.
I found it so interesting that you see these images in the hypnopompic state in the morning. I usually get the visuals when I'm falling asleep. And then when I wake up in the morning, it's like I'm just coming out of a dream and I'm like, quick, write it down. I
Yeah.
haven't really tried to sort of create visuals as I'm waking up. So that's also given me an idea of what to do. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So you're currently working with entrepreneurs and creatives in Berlin using dreams as a tool for their work and lives. What does this look like in practice and what results are people seeing?
So, as you mentioned, my workshops at the Soul House, that's where I teach to larger groups in person, and that crowd includes actually a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of artists, creatives. And already in that workshop, people were asking me, how can I use dreams for um, for filmmaking? So like there was an actress who was asking me how can she interact with the potential characters of the movie inside her dreams in order to get better into the role. Or people are asking how can I use dreams to explore new creative directions which I don't dare to do in the waking life. um, with entrepreneurs. I can also give my personal example. I ask my lucid dreams about advice on what direction I should take next. Sometimes I don't really know in the waking what is the truest answer to that question, but in the dreams, I was told like, this is what you can do, or that's the kind of reel you can make. That was really cool. So
Mm.
I already had two ideas for reels that were told to me in my lucid dreams, which I wouldn't have thought in the waking. And that just mind blows me even, like I don't understand. There's something inside of me that knows better than this, like this idea of my ego. So that's very interesting. And then one reel that I did make was performing better than others, which is like, I
Mm.
mean, it didn't go like super viral, but for my level of audience it did. So that was really fascinating.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love it when they can just tell you the next step because it doesn't have to be, the end goal or the gigantic finished product because, then we can get way too ahead of ourselves or go in the wrong direction. But when you're asking just like what is the next step or what is, something I can do to help me tomorrow,
Yeah.
and it gives you ideas that you probably have thought of but have forgotten or pulling from your subconscious. And then that's the really cool thing that I love about lucid dreaming, especially for entrepreneurs, is that we're not copying other people. You're not watching a viral reel and then trying to recreate it and just looking like everybody else out there on the internet. You're actually creating something that came from within you or from, somewhere higher and more magical. I don't know, depends on what you believe, but it's
Yeah,
something really unique. And that's what does well these days because there's enough people copying each other. At least when you
yeah,
go through your lucid dreams, you're bringing out something that perhaps no one's ever seen or heard of before. So
yeah,
that's really
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I believe lucid dreaming can really give that opportunity to become more authentic in your life, to really find your voice. Like you mentioned, not copying others, but who are you and what's asking to be manifested through you. And like you said, however you believe, whether it's something coming from the higher entity, your higher self, or it's just like you are a manifestation of this world, literally. You're in a certain time, in a certain place, made up of this world and of everything that surrounds you. And something wants to come through you, and like life wants to come through you. There's ideas that are brewing inside of you that want to be brought into the world, and when you listen to them, that's when you become really authentic. And I also believe that's when you become really magnetic because you really um, show what it's like to be yourself and you're not scared. And like part of this shadow work as well, so that you're accepting all of those different parts that want to come through you. So I think it's really beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. So tell us about your 4-week lucid dreaming cohorts. Who are they for? What happens inside them? And how can someone get involved?
Yes. So I've designed a 4-week program, which is giving the structure to start lucid dreaming. Because, as you know, there's so many techniques out there. Everyone is just like reading them and doesn't know what to do tonight, what to do tomorrow. So I created a structure where there is a weekly schedule, which is not too intense. So also for busy lifestyles, where you just get one lesson a week, and then you watch it, and then you do certain exercises throughout the week, and then it goes on for a month. Um, yeah, that's my goal, to just create a container where people who have a shared goal come together and they learn to lucid dream basically, and everyone can use it for different purposes. And that's also even my personal struggle as an entrepreneur, to find the correct way to communicate this, because it's not just one type of person who can lucid dream. Everyone can lucid dream, but everyone, even within the same type, will use it differently. So everyone will have their own approach to their dreams. Everyone has their own goals. So my goal is to give the tool for people to achieve their goals, and be that creativity and exploring like creative ideas, or be that psychological integration, looking at your shadows. And also, it doesn't stop at one place. Once you do one thing, then you want to do another thing, and then it's just like it all comes together. So for me, it's important to talk about different facets of it and then give the structure. And I'm running one cohort right now, so in June it's happening already. It started. And next one, I'm not entirely sure if it will be the same format, or if I will introduce even more one-on-one guidance and less of a group guidance. So potentially it will be the same structure, but different ways to work with me. Um, so potentially, right now there is just two options. You could either just get into the course and watch it within the month, or you can work with me directly. So like you don't only get the lessons and the materials, you also have weekly meetings with me. And I think that's
Mm.
something that I really want to go forward even stronger. So more one-on-one touch points with me.
Yeah, that's great because I know like when you first have a lucid dream or you get to converse with a dream character and you get to ask a cool question, something exciting happens, you want to talk about it with someone or
Mm,
they would want to have a
yeah,
one-on-one with you if they might be feeling
yeah,
stuck or want to break something down with you. So that's really helpful. I
yeah,
love that you can choose the two options because that really
yeah.
suits anyone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And also my friends are always telling me their dreams, because they're like, I had a
Yeah.
lucid dream. A friend of mine recently met their dreamer, and
Oh, tell
he,
me. I mean, are we allowed to hear about it or is it private? But I'm like, tell me.
so actually, he allowed me to share it on Instagram even. So I
Okay.
think it's good if I talk about it also here.
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to
Um,
hear.
yeah, because I was talking a lot about the concept of the dreamer, and it's I have also a whole essay about it, how I started that journey with the dreamer, and it's just that entity that creates the whole dreamscape. And it's important to understand that you're not controlling the dream and lucid dream. The dreamer is creating the whole dream. But so it's a very wise part of you. And I was telling about this part of myself to my friend who was like really influenced by all of those stories and so excited. He's also very excited about lucid dreaming. And recently I just wake up to like a voice message. He's like, I met my dreamer. And then I asked her, does she know Margarita 10 times? And I was like, yes, I know Margarita. But because for him, it sounds like I imagined it, it's like as if it's something that I have. And then he met
Hmm.
his own. And he was so fascinated that what I said was like true somehow. And he could encounter the same kind of entity of his own in his dreams. Yeah.
I love that. That's so funny. Asking if he knows you. That's so great.
That's really
Oh,
cute.
that's funny. Okay, yeah. So for those of you listening tonight, here's your challenge coming from Melissa and Margarita. Ask to meet your dreamer, the creator of your dreams, and then write to me and tell me about it. I want to hear.
Yes.
That's
And
awesome.
I believe that's the first thing we should do when we start dream work, like contacting the dreamer and letting them know that you want to be more engaged with your dreams or you want to start with lucid dreaming. My personal journey was that my dreamscape wasn't safe, so I didn't have trust in
Mm,
the dreamer. For many years, I was lucid dreaming already for years, and I was still not trusting that everything that
mm,
happens in the dream is for my own benefit. So encountering the dreamer, and I had like a whole journey with it, which I wrote in my essay about. It made me trust that my dreams are for my benefit and like those shadows are not trying to harm me. That was really important, and I recommend it to everyone who's listening to just like, yeah, write
yeah.
a journal entry to your dreamer tonight.
Yes, I've done that before. I was actually on a dreams retreat with a bunch of other people, and we wrote letters to our dream maker.
Mm,
And I asked for it to visit me tonight, and I asked for
mm,
it to please give me some kind of a dream that will help me to validate the power and magic in dreams that I can share with the other people in the room. And then the
mm,
dream that I had, my dreamer was just invisible wearing like a light blue cardigan. So it just looked like a floating knitted jumper flying down from the sky. But then it like pointed around the room, and above where each person was lying, because we were all sleeping in
mm,
one room together, it started showing me images coming down into each person's mind. And the guy next to me,
mm,
it just showed me piano keys and music. And then the other
mm,
person, I think it was like a birthday party, like balloons and outfits and things like that. There was a few others. And then in the
mm.
morning, when we walked around, like went around and shared our dreams, I explained what I'd asked for and I explained what I saw. And the guy next to me was like, oh, and I'm like, what? And he goes, that is my dream. My dream is piano. I play piano. And like, I'd never met him. I had
Oh.
no idea. And the other girl had shared that she was currently dreaming about being at a birthday party that was a dress up. So we were all just like,
Mm,
what? But that was exactly what I'd asked for, was something
mm,
that's like mind blowing that I can share with the others to show how
mm.
powerful and magic you are. And we were all just blown away. So
Wow.
do it, guys. Do it. If you're listening, do it. Meet your
Yes.
dreamer and tell us about it.
Yes, yes, because I got goosebumps. That's so beautiful.
So, Margarita, this is the big question of the night.
Hmm.
What is your bigger vision for lucid dreaming and where do you see this going?
Mm. Yeah, that's beautiful. I do believe that lucid dreaming will become the next meditation. So it will be a practice that many people do for their well-being. So first we start, of course, with dream work, and more people will start paying attention to their dreams generally, writing them down, reflecting, and then hopefully potentially get into lucid dreaming. The thing is, it all revolves again around the shadow, because, well, everybody knows what's going on in the world, right? And I believe these things are a manifestation of our shadows. So it's a collective shadow that manifests in wars, in greed, and all of these things that bother me deeply personally. And in the beginning of my journey, even with just self-reflection and psychotherapy, was my intention to work on myself in order to make the world better. And I believe when we all collectively do that, the world will change. And that's my big vision. And I think dreams is that thing which can help us tremendously to achieve that world where we are loving towards each other, towards the planet, recognize it as our home, recognize that everything we see around us is just another aspect of ourselves. Just like in the dream, there is a dream character that seems scary and we reject it. We do the same in the waking, but actually, when we accept that character inside our dream, we will accept that person we're not accepting in the waking. I think it could be a very beautiful world, and that's my vision for lucid dreaming. I think it could really help us bring it closer.
Mm-hmm. Bravo. I totally agree with you. I love that. I've done I've done reels before talking about how I think dreaming can help save the world and prevent murder and all of these things because
Yeah.
exactly what you just said, it teaches us to be, not just teaches us, but we get to like recalibrate who we are and our views and our opinions of things and change and appreciate and like just be better people. And like with this collective shadow, that's like it's a low vibe. We want to be vibrating on higher frequencies, the frequency of love. And when we're all feeling that way, it's going to spread and share around the world. So yeah,
Yeah.
I love that you have that vision. That's so great.
Thank you. Do you have a vision?
It is that actually. Um yeah, it is. It's the exact same thing. I do believe that dreaming, it does heal the individual, and then when we are all feeling our best and operating from, the highest place possible, if we're all in tune and in touch with ourselves like that, then we're all going to be more caring towards each other. So I do see it
Yeah.
as something that can help to heal the world. And I do just want people to feel better. Dreaming definitely changed my mindset. It changed so much about me and who I am. Like you said, with shadow work and learning to love myself, getting over fears, learning to do things that I would usually be scared to do. All of those things, dreaming has just given me a backbone, really, and helped me to go forward in the world on days when I felt like I couldn't. And so it
Yeah.
is something that I feel everybody needs to know. I guess my vision is that it will be taught more in school and to children so that they can
Mm.
start to use that as a tool as they're growing older, especially to be able to make their own decisions and not get caught up in what other people tell them that they should and shouldn't do, so that we don't get conditioned in these ways that end up being detrimental, so that kids
Yeah.
can learn to use like their own inner guidance and ask their dreams for guidance rather than going to their friends and asking what they think they should do
Mm.
and ending up in
Yeah.
trouble. So
Yeah.
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 So finally, for someone who's listening right now, who's intrigued but has never tried lucid dreaming, what is the very first step you think that they should take tonight?
We already gave our homework.
Yeah,
Connecting
we've
to their
given a bit of
dreamer.
homework actually.
Yeah, I would stick with that. Like connecting to the dreamer, creating a small ritual tonight, and maybe taking it into the morning when you don't only ask for a dream, but you actually make the effort to remember the dream, to write it down or to share it with someone. Um, I also just made a reel about like creating a ritual or self-care ritual around your dreams. So in the evening, you can really get cozy, get some candles. Um, if you already have a dream diary, review that. If not, like writing a journal entry towards your dreamer, asking for a dream, getting into bed, all cozy, excited for your dreams, like asking or like being curious what you're gonna see or asking for a specific dream. Then in the morning, writing it down. That will be a
Mm.
beautiful start.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. It's much better than just scrolling on your phone or drinking a
yeah,
few too many glasses of wine and waking up with
yeah,
regret. Let's go
yeah.
for tea. Let's go for night nectar tea. So, if you're listening and you don't know about that yet, I'm the founder of Night Nectar, which is a deep sleep and dream tea. It's got blue lotus flower, mugwort, chamomile, vanilla boss, lavender, lemon balm, 6 different
Oh,
ingredients, and it's very potent. So it's stronger than your regular sleep teas. And yeah, I'll put a discount code in the show notes. So if anyone would like to give it a go, reach out and get it from nightnectar.au. I do ship all over the world.
yeah.
Having little things like that to just help get you in the mindset, help calm the nervous system, go a little bit, thinking about your life, thinking about what you want to know, what do you want to experience in your dreams. These are all great tips. And you never know, like a lucid dream could come to you tonight, even if you've never had one before.
It
So,
could, because you've
Margarita,
incubated your mind. And if you have
yes.
that 1 hour before bed, like just for yourself, that would be fantastic. And you have that intention, it might come. Just like my friend, he doesn't practice for lucid dreaming. He talks with me about his dreams and he listens to me talk about it. And then he gets a lucid dream or he meets his dreamer. So if you've
Mm,
gotten this far and you actually finish this episode, there is a higher chance that you'll have a lucid dream tonight. And I wish that also for you.
yes. Heal yourself and heal the world while we're at it.
Yes.
Margarita, is there anything that you wish that I asked you that I haven't yet asked you? Or is there like any other message that's coming to you right now that you feel like you wanted to share?
Hmm. I would say no matter where you are in your life, you can always come back to yourself and use dreams for that, and they can help you tremendously. They can support you. Um, I've had dream characters that came to support me in my dreams when I was going through harder times. And I wish that for everybody. Um, yeah, just get to know a bit more about your dreams.
That's beautiful. And write them down always.
Yes.
So,
And there's no
Margarita,
boring
this is.
dreams, by the way. It's yeah, there's no boring dreams. If they might seem boring, it's just that you maybe are not yet excited enough about them or you're not paying enough attention. They do get more vivid once you start paying that attention. Yeah.
Yeah, or even sometimes people think it's a boring dream until we start to discuss it and pick it apart
Yeah.
and look at the
Yeah.
symbol and what's that doing and going into more of the interpretation of the dream. And then actually the boring dream has quite a big message for you that could help you
Yeah.
in your life. So yeah, never
Yeah.
underestimate them.
Yes.
Great. Well, Margarita, this has been such a rich and genuinely moving conversation. I've really enjoyed this chat. Thank you for sharing not just your knowledge, but your story. I love the story about the dreamer, the artworks, all of it. And I know that our listeners are going to carry this episode with them for a long time. And hopefully they'll write into us and share their dream journeys with us. If you're
Yeah.
listening and you want to learn more about Margarita and the world of Dreamsome, you can find her and everything she's building at dreamsome.space, and on Instagram it's at dreamsome.space. Her 4-week lucid dreaming cohorts are running, and I'll put a link in the show notes for you as well. And if you're curious to see her art on Instagram, head to at Fray Art, FRAYART. So thank you, Margarita, for
Yes.
coming.
Thank you. And also, if you want to just learn more about dreams and dream work and lucid dreaming, I do have a newsletter on Substack, which is my more close community of people where I share all of the upcoming events. I share my essays, um, just like a bit longer format content, and where we can really connect a bit closer than on Instagram, for example. That would be a good place to start getting to know your dreams as well.
Yes, guys, we have so much information, so many places to meet and chat and learn more. So now that you've heard all of that, for the rest of you, go to sleep tonight with a little more intention. Keep a notepad or an app, or maybe we'll get Margarita's app up soon. I want to hear what is waiting in your dreams for you. Until next time, keep dreaming, and I'll see you in the Dream Hub.
Bye bye.